Hey guys, it's Maggie and welcome back to my channel. I'm so sorry it has been so long since I posted a video, but I am back at the dorms. I am back living my life kind of COVID style, which is fun. Today I just thought we'd kick it off with something simple since decision day is like remotely coming up. I'm just going to be answering some more of you guys' Tulane questions because it's my favorite things to talk about. I love talking about Tulane, I love talking about school, and I definitely want to make more college themed videos coming up. So I compiled a list of like my most frequently asked questions because I get a lot of DMs, which I absolutely love getting DMs, like answering questions. So if you literally have any sort of question that I don't cover in this video or my others, please just like DM me. The link's in my description below, and I'll try and splash up on the screen. I love answering questions, even if it's not about Tulane, just about college and stuff in general. I always love answering. So recently also a bunch of people, like not a bunch, two people random people have come up and like mentioned to me on campus, like recognized me. Don't be afraid to say hey, like I don't know, I like making new friends. I'm a little awkward, but yeah, just come up and talk to me if you ever see me on campus. And yeah, if you do have a lot more questions or if like anything, I am down for like anything. I will help you. We can set up some sort of Zoom. We can answer questions. If your parents have questions, I'm helpful for literally any of it. So I will try to be helpful for any of it. The first question I'm going to be discussing today, that is Tulane's reputation as a party school. I got a DM from this girl. She was a little nervous because like she didn't really party in high school. She was worried that like Tulane wouldn't be a good fit for her because the party culture, and I think that Tulane does a really good job of, yes, if you want to party, this is your place. It's New Orleans, you know, there are always things to do. Maybe not right now, but like last year and last semester, like there are always things to do. So I definitely think that you will be able to find your people, like if you do like to party, but also if you don't. Like I am not a big, like I like to go out. I like to go out with friends. I like, you know, doing things, but I'm kind of a homebody in general. Like typically I'm kind of a homebody and I have been just fine. It's kind of about finding your friends, and that's what I think that I do really love about Tulane, is that there's such like a wide variety of people here, that you can find all different types of people. So I definitely think that yes, it lives up to its reputation as a party school, but only to a certain degree. Like you can party as much or as little as you like, and there's really no judgment or no like, I don't know, weirdness from your peers or from anyone. It's pretty much up to you. So it's always there as an option. But yeah, I definitely think that if that's not your scene, not your vibe, there are totally other things to do, and I think that's what I love so much about Tulane. Also, normally, now there's not as much, but typically if you look on TULANEticketing.com, there's all sorts of free events that like Tulane will bust you out. Like I got to go pole dancing my freshman year. I got to go see Dear Evan Hansen my freshman year for literally $10. There's all different types of like fun events to go to, even if you're not into the party scene, so there's always stuff to do. So I think it really has like a bit of something for everyone. So, and of course you can do all of the above, which is a little bit what we did. How is it finding your group of people at Tulane? It kind of depends. You really have to, I feel like sometimes you have to like try. I got really lucky, I'll admit. Like my freshman year I was in wall, and we had a different like wall class I think than like previous years, because our wall like hall was pretty loud and like it wasn't super, like people weren't super isolated, and people studied but they went out and like did stuff too. So I really loved my roommates. I loved Cassandra, and I love my other roommate Miles so much. He's great. We got along really well. We clicked, and then I really clicked with my suite mates too, so I'm still super close to all of them. They're like my main friend group still. Unfortunately, that is not the case like for some people. Of course, we've all heard roommate horror stories. Personally, I don't have too many. I will say one common like thing with me and all my friends is that the people that had good roommates like had an easier time acclimating to the university and like college life in general, and people that had like bad roommates like typically like towards the beginning were unsure if they made the right decision and kind of like were a little skeptical because they had a bad roommate. So I definitely think that it can really feel very isolating at the beginning if you don't find your like group of people within the first couple weeks. But taking advantage of as many of the activities that they have, that Tulane has so many, typically it's a little harder this year. My advice for like this COVID time year is a little bit different because it's really tough. I can't imagine being a freshman right now if I like didn't like my roommate or didn't like the people that lived on my hall, because it's just so hard to like, you can't really go to other people's dorms, or you can't really do other like things. You kind of stay like in your pod, as the university likes to call it, for like a normal year. Just going to different events, even going out, you never know who you're going to talk to, and you know, and everyone, I would recommend honestly starting as early as possible on like trying to make those friends, because in the beginning of college everyone is trying to make friends like really bad, you know, like everyone is trying to make it work. Even if you're not like lifelong besties, people are going to try and make it work just because they're lonely and they like don't want to be alone. So I definitely think that strike while the iron's hot. But even if you're a little late, just like find groups that you like have a lot in common with. Like even in like a Zoom world, like I joined the fashion club, TULANE fashion club last semester because I wanted to find more people that were like into fashion. Joined TUCP because I loved the club, or I thought it would be so fun, and also because I liked like a lot of the people that were a part of it. So I think joining clubs and going to different virtual events that you know like have like-minded people will also really help with like finding like a group, especially in this weird time where you can't like walk up and talk to as many people. And yeah, it does make things a little different, because I tried to find, like, my freshman year, I tried to find, like, one person in each class that I had as a friend so I could use as, like, a resource, a study resource, and just, like, have a friend to talk to and, you know, like, hang out with. So I still think try and find that. It's a little harder if your like format is purely online, but it is helpful to just have like one friend per class so that you have someone, and you know, and you never know where that could take you. How was my transition to TULANE? My transition was surprisingly well for my first time, like literally ever pretty much leaving home. I come from like a small town in Texas, about 8 hours away, and I didn't have a car. That was probably like the most difficult thing that like held me back kind of from being like happy, was the lack of car. My transition was pretty smooth, and really it's because of my roommates and the people that were around me. Like my roommates, Cassandra, she was there for like every minute of my like first like 3 weeks, like especially before school like started. So I really didn't have a lot of time to be sad and a lot of time to be like angsty. My transition was pretty good. I think that the way that TULANE does orientation for freshmen especially is really good, where they get there a little earlier and you spend so much time with the people on your floor, because then you really get to know like the people that are around you. But there were definitely some low moments, you know. My personal favorite place to go and cry and call my parents was the wall staircases. You know what I'm talking about. If you're a wall kid, probably I would sit in those staircases and cry on the phone, wanting to come home at times, and have people pass me and be like, you know, pretending that we both knew I was crying, but like pretending that I wasn't. So I definitely think that you will just like, it is a hard transition no matter where you're coming from, no matter how like what family you left, you know, what like exactly you left behind. It's just a hard transition. You're trying to figure everything out, your, you know, classes, tests, all of it. It's not high school anymore. So I definitely think that for me, TULANE did a good job of helping me transition, just like the people, all the events they put on, and like keeping kind of distracting people. But definitely it was still hard. What is one thing you would change about TULANE if you could? And I think I might have talked about this in another video, but I'm gonna mention it again because it's just like probably my biggest like beef with TULANE and like kind of the culture that is on campus, is that it's kind of, it gets a little bit, it's not even competitive, because everyone is actually pretty helpful of like, if you have answers, if you have like study resources, people are pretty helpful and like want to help you succeed, like people in your peers and stuff. But there's a weird like culture of, oh, I have like more hours than you, I have more of this than you, like I have more stress than you, so like I can be upset but you can't, you know. like everyone at Tulane, like my freshman year, my first semester I took 17.5 hours, my second I took 19, and I took 18 the past, like I'm on 18 hours right now. That's kind of a lot of hours. And I didn't even realize it because like I didn't really know what to expect coming to college. Like I had no idea what like an average, but when you talk to people from other schools, that's sometimes a lot of hours, and I didn't even realize until like going home, because at Tulane like 17.5, everyone's like, oh, you know, like it's like not that many, and people kind of like to try and stress themselves out a ton, you know, like that kind of culture sometimes of like, oh, I'm gonna take 21 hours, I'm gonna take X amount of hours, I'm gonna do this, this, and this, and you know, just be super stressed. I definitely think that's like my least favorite thing. There's like oh, I slept for 2 hours last night, like look at me, I'm so like productive, so smart, so whatever, you know. And personally, I always kind of felt like bad almost, because I'm a really type A person. Like if I have an assignment that's due like 2 weeks away, but I'll just like start on it and I'll keep working on it, because I don't really like to be doing work past like 8 o'clock at night. Like it pisses me off. I don't do my best work like when it gets dark for some reason. So I like never had any work to do at night, and everyone was like staying up till, some people were staying till 3 a.m. doing all this stuff, and I was like, am I just like not working hard, you know? Like am I not doing what I'm supposed to be doing? And I think that can sometimes like create a weird and so I had like a little bit tiny identity crisis always, you know, like coming to college and being like, oh, maybe I'm not as smart, maybe I'm not like a good student, or like, but I realized I was also being a good student and just doing my things in a different way than everyone else is. And yeah, so I definitely think that the culture of like, ooh, who has it worse, who has more reason to be stressed, is probably like the most, if that makes any sense. I kind of went on a lot of tangents here, but that's what I changed the most, is like the kind of competitiveness of like who has more, because it can just like be toxic. Everyone just needs to kind of support each other and encourage each other to take breaks and to like not be so stressed. I don't know why stress is always the goal in college. I literally don't know. Is there anything on campus that helps you deal with stress? Normally, yes. So my favorite things to do when I'm stressed on campus, I love going to yoga. They have so many great yoga programs at the Riley Center. I think they still have some even with like COVID going on. I think you're just like more spread out. My freshman and sophomore year, I would always go to sleepy time yoga, restorative yoga with Derby. I think that was her name. I loved sleepy time yoga. I literally fell asleep every single class in restorative fish pose. She would always have to come and like tap me when it was like over, because I was like tired. I don't know, I was tired. So yoga I think is a really fun option. Also, just like any sort of workout class for me is a good stress reliever. Vixen is one of my absolute favorite stress relievers there is. It's basically sexy Zumba with like popular music. Like typically Zumba's like Latin music, but it's like just like mainstream popular music. Vixen is so fun, and it's just like so empowering, and you like say all these little chants at the beginning and like yell. It's just really cute and fun. So those two are probably like my like most things that help with stress. Also walks, just going on walks around Audubon Park, great place to take a walk. I like just walking around. I would walk to get like slushies across the street at Circle K. That would help me. I walked to Cane's, which is a little far. Maybe don't recommend doing that. It was like 2 miles. I walk there every Thursday because I just like needed some me time. So I definitely recommend walking, like exercising, reading a book, going places. I love the library, the NOMA library. No, it's not NOMA. I don't remember what it's called. I think it's closed right now, or I think it's like closed to like going in and actually browsing the books. I think you can still pick up books. But I loved going to the library and taking like the streetcar and kind of making like a cute little day after class of just like going, you know, me time. So yeah, I definitely recommend like any of those things to relieve stress. Also one time, I'd recommend, if you can, join the Free Things Club. It's like a group me. Sometimes people get a little wild in the Free Things Club group me, but most of the time it's just pretty helpful of like saying when things are like happening around campus. Like I remember there was like free massages in the LBC one time, like literally with actual massage. Like, I don't know, it was like an actual massage. like chairs and everything, like real massage artists. So yeah, that was super fun, and me and my friend Cassandra went and like got massages. So yeah, just like random things like that that come by, like take advantage of any of those little things. My last question is going to be vegetarian options on campus and in the city. I am not a vegetarian or vegan, but a lot of my friends are. And there are a lot of options, vegetarian options, not as much on campus. Like on campus, sometimes it's a little sparse, especially the commons right now has been a little more weak because there's so many, like you can't like go and serve yourself. You can't kind of like personalize your food in a way. Like even the salads kind of are pre-made, like you put certain things, you know, like everything's a little bit different now, but typically there are a lot of vegetarian options, especially around campus. Like if you want to go places, Magazine, like that whole like Magazine Street has a lot. I feel like a very good vegetarian. All my friends that are vegetarian vegan love Breads on Oak, which is on Oak Street. And yeah, there definitely is things to eat. You can definitely make it work on any diet, but it's just like it is a little bit more difficult to find things like on campus, if that makes sense, you know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit subscribe. I made it to 1.5K, which is really exciting to me. I know it's a small number in the scheme of things, but it makes me happy. Come up and say hi to me. DM me on Instagram. I don't know, do whatever. I love talking to people about Tulane. I love talking to people about life, fashion, all this stuff. So yeah, please drop a comment. Do whatever you want, but I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.